We won the Premier League, taking off 3 trophies with Manchester United and Kylian Mbappe. Now we could stay and go for the Champions League, but the Inter Milan job is available. They finished 6th this year but won the league the seasons before that. Real Madrid won the league in Spain, by the way. Leipzig somehow won the Bundesliga, but PSG win the league again in France. Now I absolutely love these players and this team, and I genuinely think I could go for the Champions League next season with them. But the chance to switch to Italy this quickly and with a decent team, might I add, would be kind of too good to turn down, so I'm going to apply. We don't have a lot of money to improve this team either, and Bruno Fernandes is leaving to PSG as he refused to sign a new deal. The Champions League final is being played out by Napoli and Bayern Munich, and was won in a very entertaining final by Zidane's Bayern Munich. I asked the board to increase the transfer revenue percentage and it was rejected. We've just won the league and it still sits at 40%. Awful. So I'll be rejecting offers like this £70 million bid for substitutes. So it's the Inter Milan interview time, and telling them that of course I can learn the language and I can adapt to this new country. They praised me for my recent success and ask why I want to leave. And then the big question that I was so intrigued to know, transfer budget. Yes, yes, and yes, that is fantastic. My mind is made up now. I think this move is the best option for Glory Hunter. Another good sign as Inter Milan asked me to decide my backroom changes. And there we go. Inter Milan approach Omega Luke, a 3-year contract on just under $80,000 a week. Of course, I accepted the deal with tears in my eyes, leaving my favorite club, and just like that, FC Internazionale Milano hire Luke. This team is good enough to win the league in the first season too, by the way, no doubt about it in my opinion. And that screen didn't even show you that we still have Lautaro Martinez. We also had a transfer incoming that was confirmed before my arrival. 25-year-old Croatian that I'm more than happy to welcome to the club. Not a single attribute under 11. I then negotiated with Leicester to sell Luka Jovic for over 30 million to add more to our transfer budget. I was then looking around the leagues to try and find who's got what and who's best players, and I found this guy. At Torino, he's 6'8" with 15 agility. This guy should be in the NBA. I then got a bid accepted for Secretario. Remember him? Yeah, he's probably the best player in the world right now, and he's only about to turn the age of 22. But trying to offer him a contract, I had that weird glitch that keeps happening. Have you ever had that weird glitch where you try and negotiate terms and then at the start it says like, no, you can't go any further, but there's no clauses to add, and he's not adding any clauses, he just keeps rejecting it, and eventually you can't sign it. It's just so weird and annoying. Fratesi, though, is the perfect target for us. He's a fantastic talent, he's in his prime, and yet I can negotiate an offer for just over £30 million. And we got that deal done really fast. I sold Jonathan Okone to Manchester United for a total of £35 million. And I then spent £73 million on Jurrien Timber from Ajax. Also brought a player from AC Milan, a 21-year-old with great potential, perfectionist personality, and an unbelievable physical attributes for just £46 million. Shocking, really. Just like my shocking performance on SPITCH. SPITCH has unlimited transfers, amazing point system, new season mode which takes your top 5 lineups, puts them in, and you could win a massive jackpot, and there's a free version as well. You do have to be 18 years of age or over from the UK, Germany or Austria and have your identification there ready for verification purposes, and there's 2 links in my description. The first one is to join SPITCH, the second one to join my community league. So head right down there now and join my community league and have some fun. Fantasy football fun with SPITCH. Tactically, we're going to go with a narrow diamond formation as our midfield is phenomenal and we have 2 world-class strikers. And I found a fantastic striker to help the squad with a £20 million release clause. Oh, by the way, guess who the new Manchester United manager is? Zinedine Zidane. So who replaced him? Pep Guardiola, who left Chelsea, who are still looking for a replacement with Villa and Newcastle. The £20 million signing Ordren is now our player and is a perfect squad striker to rotate in and out. First game of the league season, and we start with Martinez and Lukaku up top and Diaz in behind. Fratesi and Barella is an unreal midfield and Weigl in behind them. Bastoni and Skriniar is flanked by Dodo and Timber with Onana in goal. And Luis Diaz was phenomenal. Lecce actually took the lead and this was what kicked us into gear, and Luis Diaz scored a rocket. And then in the second half he scored a tap-in. In fact, he scored 2 tap-ins. Lecce scored another, but we were just simply too good, and with some great build-up play, Martinez scored a 4th, and then he scored a 5th. And finally, Lecce scored a 3rd, and this game ended in a Serie A classic, 5-3. The following was our first test of the season against Juventus, a game in which we won despite being 1-0 down, coming back through Lukaku and winning when David Fratese found space for the cross. So we're currently second, which is great, and our Europa League group looks pretty simple. And the manager merry-go-round continues as both Milan and Napoli are now searching because their managers were picked up by Chelsea and Newcastle. We move forward a couple of months because we are absolutely destroying teams and we aren't playing anyone too tough in this period, but some of these results are mental. For instance, in this 7-1 win against Fiorentina, where the first 3 goals of the game was all scored by the 35-year-old Lukaku, and quite simply, he was unplayable in this game. Ordren then came on and scored a wonderful free kick. Lukaku then scored 5 in the next game, a 9-0 win against Sassuolo. By no means a bad team in the league, they currently actually sit in 8th place, so beating them 9-0 is absolutely mental, and it just shows how strong this team really is. And Lukaku, well, let's just take a look at him. Still quick, still really strong, and the mental attributes are awesome. 13 goals in 8 games so far. When we actually face tough opposition, we still wipe the floor with them at their stadium too. And our first Milan derby was won in the 68th minute when we scored the only goal of the game, which means we literally have not dropped any league points, and it's the middle of November. 12 matches, 12 wins so far. The Serie A could actually be quite a quick win for Glory Hunter. We are even putting in 10-0 wins in the Europa League. 4 more games in December, and it's 4 more wins for Inter Milan. Atalanta coming closest in a 2-1 win, but we still went 2 goals up really quickly when Barella and Lukaku scored, but Atalanta got one back for a Bastoni own goal. As we move into January, I always check the end of contracts to see if we can find a quality player. SMS being an option that we can approach right now, but Joshua Kimmich could be. So I offered him a contract for £300,000 per week, and he'll be perfect for that halfback role. It's only the Italian Super Cup, but it's another Milan derby and another match where Lukaku scored multiple goals, making our city rivals, and remember, the champions of Italy, look terrible, demolishing them 4-0. Kimmich turned me down though and extended his contract with City. And then we faced 2 tricky fixtures and another 2 big wins, 4-1 against Roma and a 5-0 against Juventus. We are without a goalkeeper. I'm playing an 18-year-old and he is terrible, by the way. And I'm honestly lost for words on how we are still doing this in the Serie A. We are making it look easy. No Lukaku either, he's ill and it literally doesn't matter. We are simply unstoppable right now. And Juve, they only had 1 shot, by the way. 1 shot in 90 minutes. Well, Zinedine Zidane was sacked by Manchester United already. How can you be down in 8th, by the way, with that team? I also noticed that PSG are second behind Lyon by 8 points. That might not happen again in the next 12 years, so we need to keep an eye on it. Deadline day, and Leipzig came in with a £23 million upfront bid for Tobias, our backup right back. He's adamant he wants to leave, so I bumped it up to 30, and they actually accepted. And my replacement is £4.3 million Caligari on 20k a week. The 25th of February. That is the first league game that we didn't win, as in we had 24 wins from 24 games. We also knocked Lazio out of the Coppa Italia and advanced to the semi-final with a 3-1 victory with 3 different goal scorers. And we've been drawn against AC Milan in the semi-final, but it's Barcelona up next in Europa League, a tough draw against the current La Liga winners. We went to Barcelona though and came away with a 3-1 lead. Klopp, by the way, he's the new Manchester United manager. He's gone from Liverpool to Spurs, Germany manager, Arsenal, and now Manchester United. Second leg hosting Barcelona, and yet again we look like we are playing an amateur club. Lukaku with that beautiful chip to start things off, but after a tap-in and his hat-trick, an easy 6-1 aggregate win. Before we face AC Milan in the cup semi-final, we have just won our 28th out of 29th game and 24 points clear in the league, meaning that if my maths is correct, we need just 1 more win for the Scudetto. A lot of injuries and international call-ups. We have a crisis for the Milan semi-final. After picking the team, I have 1 first-team player on the bench and a number of youth academy players. Yikes. We still won 5-2 though, and the player we bought from Milan scored 2 and assisted 1. Amazing. And then I realized the most beautiful thing ever. We could win the Scudetto in the next match against the current champions, AC Milan. Milan did their best though to delay our celebration, scoring the first goal. But when Lukaku played a 1-2 with Javi Galan, they simply couldn't stop him. He then picked up a second in the 82nd minute, and then crowned us champions with a hat-trick as the club captain in injury time. And just like that, we win the Scudetto the first time of asking, without losing a game. So with the league wrapped up and the second leg of the Coppa Italia to come, we look to the Europa League against West Ham. First leg was made easy when Souček got a straight red in the first minute. Luis Diaz gave us the lead in the second leg, but West Ham shortly after equalised. But with some beautiful play down the left-hand side, the ball was cut back to Frattesi, who curled the winner into the bottom corner. Through every month this season, we have never picked up a loss. We rarely draw either, only picking up one in Europa League and one in the league. But the 15th of April, we tasted defeat for the first time at the hands of Atalanta with 3 fairly late goals. Second leg in the Coppa Italia, and we progressed through to the final after our 8-5 win on aggregate, although we did give away a 3-0 lead to draw 3-3 on the night. Newcastle in Europa League semi-final and Napoli in the Coppa Italia final. And Newcastle handed us our second loss of the season in the first leg. Timber picks up an injury and is going to miss the remainder of the season in a 5-0 league win against Hellas Verona. Second leg time then, and it wasn't until after half-time where we opened the scoring through Lukaku. Bastoni tied the score on aggregate with Newcastle, but we kept scoring goals. Martinez then put us ahead. Lukaku gave us some breathing room with his second goal, and Romero put us out of reach and into the final. Speaking of finals, it's Coppa Italia final time. Our opportunity to complete Italy in one season of Glory Hunter took an early knock when Calvert-Lewin got the opener. But then things looked up when Latomba got sent off in the 23rd minute. However, our captain Romelu Lukaku, doing his defensive duties, lunged in and injured himself and his opponent. Quite hilariously too, might I add. And shortly following this was another DCL goal. Second half, Bastoni pulled one back to get us back in the game. 3 minutes later, DCL closed the game off and bagged his hat-trick, winning the Coppa Italia for Napoli. We ended the season in second gear, saving ourselves hopefully for the Europa League final. And then I saw it. The PSG job became available. Why couldn't I have just won that Coppa Italia? But let's not think about that now. We have a Europa League final to win, and this is the team to do it against Leicester. Timber gave us the lead in just the 3rd minute with an unreal shot in the top corner. Lukaku doubled that lead with a rebound. Leicester got one back from a set piece, and former Inter Milan player Luka Jovic scored the equaliser. But in the 92nd minute, Daniel Milan fired in what Leicester hoped to be lifting the trophy for them. But a hero in the Inter Milan shirt, Luca Romero, scored in the 94th minute to take it to extra time, where our captain Romelu Lukaku scored the winner in the 109th minute. And we lift the Europa League trophy once again in Glory Hunter. Lukaku actually picked up 45 goals this season in just 41 games, and both Audren and Martinez came close to 30 goals themselves. So I would say that is a successful season. But then, oh, hello, a PSG interview.